Welcome to This Week in Brattleboro History,
produced by
the
Brattleboro Historical Society and
the Brattleboro Area Middle School.
In 1939, a St. Johnsbury newspaper printed the following press release. L. Frank Baum wrote many books, but his greatest hit was The Wizard of Oz. 10 million copies of the book were sold, and the story was made into a musical play that ran for 4 years on the New York stage. Now, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer has declared to film it. After 2 years' work and the expenditure of $3 million, the moving picture will be shown here in Vermont.
As part of a publicity program, MGM trucked a miniature carriage used during the filming of the movie throughout the Northeast. Theaters could promote the movie by featuring the carriage during their Wizard of Oz premieres.
The movie arrived at the Latchis Memorial Theatre in September 1939. Spiro Latchis had previously received permission from the Select Board to hold a Main Street parade as part of a publicity promotion connected with the movie release. Local youngsters were recruited to dress as the major movie characters and participate in the parade. In the movie, the carriage was used to introduce Dorothy to the residents of Munchkinland.
The Wizard of Oz began its Brattleboro run on Sunday, September 3rd. The next day, the parade took place along Main Street. Most of the teenagers who dressed as the major characters of the movie were students at St. Michael's High School. Edna Lucille Holland portrayed Dorothy. She would go on to work at Smith College for 38 years and lived most of her adult life in Northampton, Massachusetts.
Kenneth Mather dressed as the Scarecrow. Directly after high school, he took a job as an SD organ woodworker, but spent most of his adult life driving delivery trucks and cabs. Donald Deedy appeared as the Tin Man. He volunteered during World War II and was part of the Normandy invasion. He would serve under General Patton and participate in the Battle of the Bulge. Later, he was one of the first U.S. soldiers to liberate Nazi concentration camps. His testimony was used at the Nuremberg trials of Nazi war criminals.
Charles Atkins dressed as the Cowardly Lion. He would enlist in 1943 and remain in the Army for more than 20 years. He served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. He retired from the service as a Master Sergeant. Atkins lived his remaining years in Virginia. The Wizard was portrayed by Kenneth Wallace. He was an aircraft mechanic during World War II and served in the Pacific. After the war, he came back to Brattleboro and spent most of his adult life driving trucks for various beverage distributors.
The miniature carriage featured in the parade was built as original equipment from the Wizard of Oz movie set. It was designed and built by MGM set director Cedric Gibbons and his team. During his career, Gibbons oversaw the set designs for more than 1,500 MGM films.
Spiro Latchis was born in Greece in 1893. His father, Demetrius, moved to Hinsdale, New Hampshire in 1901 and began peddling fruit. Demetrius pushed his fruit cart on a route from Northfield, Massachusetts to Chesterfield, New Hampshire. Every day he would begin at the Brattleboro train station and purchase fruit delivered by rail cars. One day he would travel south to Northfield, the next day he would peddle in the Brattleboro area, and then the following day he would push his cart north to Chesterfield. Later he purchased a horse-drawn carriage, then established a fruit market storefront located where the Brattleboro Co-op is now. In 1908, young Spiro and his brother Peter joined Demetrius to help with the business, and the rest of the family made its way to the area by 1911.
The Latchis family moved to Brattleboro in 1912. In 1920, the first Latchis Theatre was built on Flat Street. Spiro and Peter joined their father in growing the Latchis Theatre brand. By the time Demetrius passed away in 1932, there were 6 Latchis Theatres operating in Vermont, New Hampshire. Eventually, there would be 15 Latchis Theatres and 3 hotels operating in New England.
The Latchis Memorial Theatre at the corner of Main and Flat Streets was completed in 1938. This 1,100-seat theater and the 60-room attached hotel, completed in 1940, were designed to be an Art Deco showplace built in memory of Demetrius Latchis. The theater and hotel replaced the 650-seat Latchis Theater that had been built earlier on this site. The murals of Greek mythology and the statues of Greek culture were reminders of the family's heritage.
The Wizard of Oz played at the new Latchis Memorial Theatre during its first year of operation. The fancy hotel would be completed a year later. A review of sorts appeared in the Reformer shortly after the movie left town. All of the current Hatton boys and girls enjoyed the moving picture The Wizard of Oz recently. It is not often that a suitable moving picture for younger children comes along, but this one delighted old and young alike. We'd like to thank Gilbert, Logan, Noah, Seamus, Jordan, Evan, Isabel, Eliza, and Rose for reading This Week in Brattleboro History.
Please join us next week for another story from our community's past.